school football playoffs on Texan Live, presented to you by TexanDrive.com. Whether you're watching this broadcast live or on demand, thanks so much for being a part of Texan Live. Tonight, from Stephen F. Austin's Homer Bryce Stadium in Nacogdoches, Texas, it's the 4A Division I Region 3 finals between Phil Castle's Henderson and Scott's Carthage Bulldogs. I'm Mark M. Johnson. As always, an absolute pleasure bringing you live coverage here on Texan Live. If you haven't already, make sure you check us out on Twitter at Texan_Live. Instagram and Snapchat, Texan Live, all one word. You can like our Facebook page, Texan Live, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Texan Live, as well. And now through your Texan Live subscription on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. So we'll take a look at this matchup coming into what has turned into a very, very cold night. Temperatures dropped to the 30s tonight. There was lots of snow in the Houston area, but so far so good here. We're outside on top of the roof too, hoping it doesn't snow. It's definitely going to be a cold one, but nothing these guys haven't been used to in the past couple of weeks. I know it's been 100-degree weather for the most part around the Texas area, but these guys, they know what it takes to get to the playoffs, and these two no strangers to being in the UIL playoffs. This is actually a rematch of not only district play, both of them competing in 4A ball in the Division 9, or District 9, excuse me. They played each other last year, and it was quite a finish. It was a close battle, but Carthage ended up defeating Henderson 33-31 in round 2, the 2016 5A Division 1, 4A Division 1 state championship. As kickoff, we'll get things started. This is a pretty good return already across midfield into already in Henderson territory goes Carthage. Carthage 13-0 in the regular season, 6-0 in round 2, 8-9 4A District Championship. Defeated Huffman in the first round of the UIL playoffs, 46-10. Bronzesport 45-21, and then Silsby 64-36. As we get things underway, first play of the series anyway. Carthage, an absolute powerhouse this year after taking the state championship, and they didn't even win their district last year. That's just how good they've been. This pass deflected. Magnificently done by Miguel Ruiz to the flat back pass. It'll be incomplete. We're going to have second down and 10. We're just 11 seconds into this ball game. It'll be second and 10, 48-yard line. The ball still placed in Henderson territory. Carthage ranked 25th in the state of Texas, and that is across the entire state. All classes including 4A, 5A, and 6A. There's your first pass. It's going to be complete. The far side is Carthage will move the football up to the 44-yard line. Not quite move the chains. The moment, they need 6 yards to do so. They have third down to do it. 45 seconds into this game. And that pass is going to be incomplete on the far side. Bowens didn't turn around in time. A little bit off on that route. And that'll bring up our first fourth down situation. The offense looks like they're staying on the field for the time being. It's an interesting events here. They will indeed keep their offense on the field. They need 6 yards to get to the first down. 11:02 remaining in the first quarter. We're still early in this game, so we're still moving in the first quarter. Waiting in the shotgun, and this time the flags will go up. I'm trying to look for the play clock, ran down to 0. Let's see if this is a delay of game penalty. It is. So that might change their decision a bit here. Instead of 4th and 6, it'll change to 4th and 11, and now they have lost a total of a yard on this drive. Not exactly what you would see from a team that's undefeated coming into this game, but then again, it's not that unusual to see a team go into a bit of a funk. They are going to continue here. That might be a guy in the back punting. We'll wait and see if it's a fake. Nobody's in the backfield ready to... And that one is going to be a fake. A flag does go up. It's only a 5-yard gain as a football appeared to come loose. Carthage is going to have it, or excuse me, Henderson was going to have it either way, whether it was off a turnover on downs or if they did recover that fumble. Let's see what this flag is. Wow, they're going to get another shot here, and that's a big gift. As Henderson, if they allow first down here, this could come back and haunt them. Got to remember what happened between them. They lost to them during district play this year. They lost to them during the playoffs last year. Rest assured, they have been looking forward to this game, no doubt about it. They want vengeance, I'm sure. Carthage, I'm sure they want nothing to do with that. As they will once again go for it on 4th down. This time they need 6 yards again after penalties on each side. Pass on the near sideline is going to be bobbled out of bounds. It's going to be incomplete and a turnover on downs. I'm not sure he would have gotten it anyway if that pass was complete. I believe that was Baldry that was unable to come away with it. So either way, Henderson comes away with a big defensive stance, especially after the Bulldogs return the football so well to begin this. Got it all the way at the 48-yard line in their opponent's territory, and they couldn't pick up a first down. Now they turn the football over to the Henderson Lions. Play action looking deep. This pass is going to be completed. Just one play. Henderson's going to pick up the first down as Hall connects with Blant to the 41-yard line. In Bulldogs territory, the Lions march on here as the football is placed in their hash mark at the 41-yard line. A fresh set of downs for the team that won 11-2 during the regular season, 4-2 in district play, tied for second in District 9-4A. But the winner in 9-4A last year didn't even make it as far as the third-place team. Another completed pass on the far side as Hall is really finding his receivers to get things going here. This time he connects with Cortland Jackson. They pick up yet another first down inside the 30-yard line to the 28s. 10-10 remaining in the first quarter. After a couple of penalties, a couple of incomplete passes, that's why it's moving along slightly slowly. That's bad grammar. I apologize for that. But they will have a fresh set of downs here, and they'll throw it again, and that pass once again is going to be complete as he'll break a tackle and now get out of bounds. Traylon Blant, second reception of this game, and gets inside the 20-yard line, and that is 3 successful passes to begin this drive and begin this game nonetheless. Trey Hall on the move. Line up in a small pistol right now. They haven't run the football yet. 9:42 remaining in the first quarter. And let's see what he's got up his sleeve here. He's going to run with it. He finds a nice hole to work with up the middle. Cuts it inside. There's a flag on the play. He gets in the end zone, but this one's likely coming back. Incredible play there by Trey Hall. Great moves. But he did get a lot of help, and that's likely going to be a holding penalty, I'm guessing. Well, that's unfortunate. 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. First down and 20 for the Lions. Another flag comes up here. This could be a free play as that pass is going to be connected. It's going to go for about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and I'm sure they'd rather have the yardage, as good as that would look on the stat sheet, for Blanton. That would be his third reception, but they might take the penalty, move it up 5 yards.
Offside. Defense number 29, lined up with the news play. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It would have been about a 3 yard gain, and they would have lost it down, so that's kind of a no-brainer. Blanton will not pick up. Traylon Brandon and Blanton, anyway, will not pick up his third reception of the game, but his team will pick up 5 yards and keep it at first down. Pick up a little bit more of those yards that they got on that holding penalty. So they're to the 19-yard line, back into the red zone they go. Nothing much there. Yes, that'll bring up second down as we're now over 3 minutes into this game. Henderson defeated Nacogdoches 31-24, Sealy 35-14, and Kilgore 20-14 to get here to the regional finals against their arch nemesis. At the 19-yard line, it is down to 8:28 on the clock remaining here in the first quarter. Need about 14 yards to get the first down, and we'll get back to the original line of scrimmage on this play, over to the 15-yard line on the far side. The football will move. So they will call this officially third down and 11. Football is now on the 15-yard line. 4 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Stephen F. Austin University's Homer Bryce Stadium. First time they have hosted a high school football playoff game in over 4 years. Rowland looking downfield. He's got trouble and he's going down. The football came loose, but that was well after the play was over with. That is going to be a sack for Carthage and a big play from them. As Ahmad appeared to pick up the sack. You never say never there, and definitely was Brown who picked up the sack. He is absolutely stoked right now as he prevented them from getting anywhere forward here. This will set up a field goal attempt, though, about 42 yards out. The junior Axel Romero. 42-yard field goal to start things off here. Let's see if he's got the distance. That's going to be awfully close. No good, wide right. He barely had the distance, but he just couldn't keep it straight. And a missed field goal attempt. Now both teams have turned the football over on downs. Well, quite the season. I sound like a broken record saying that, but these are two prominent teams here, and they both have to play in the same district. And it always seems like they make it into a similar round here. 2016, Henderson was an 11-2 team, 5-1 district play. They tied for the district title in 9-4A. After defeating Little Morrisville and El Campo, they lost to this Carthage team 31-33 in the regional semifinals. So run up the middle. The senior, 6 foot, 190-pound back. Picks up some positive yards here, so it'll be second down, 4 to go. We're 6.5 minutes to play in this first quarter. Lined up in the eye. Another handoff to Ingram as he is going to be very close to the first down marker. It appears that he got it with forward motion. They're going to call it goes to the first down as he pushed out of bounds about a yard shy of the first down marker at the 44-yard line. Should be second down and 1 as we're officially halfway through this first quarter. Only the second drive of the game for these Carthage Bulldogs. As I mentioned before, had to fight every single game, every step of the way last year in the UIL playoffs. And the by-district round, Silsbee 34-30, and I just mentioned North Forest. But Henderson, boy, they were neck and neck with them in the regional semifinals, 33-31, and Stafford even closer in the regional finals, 27-26. Another run. This time Ingram's going to be stopped pretty far back. It's Tyrick Bland appeared to come away with a stop, and that's about a 2-yard loss. That'll set up a second down and 12. 5:12 remaining in the first quarter. When they made it to the state round of the UIL playoffs, China Spring, they defeated them by just 6, 26-20 in the state semifinals, and then Wiley, one of their bigger defeats, 31-17. Go figure in the state finals. That game was a lot closer than the score would appear. Nobody in the backfield, so they knew he was going to throw. And coming away with a sack there was Garrett. Braylon Garrett picks up the sack. And that's another big loss on the play. And it backs him all the way up to the 34-yard line. 4:29 ticking remaining in the quarter. That's a big loss. It'll turn into 3rd and 20. 8 yards officially on that sack. So they're running into a similar situation like we saw on the initial drive by Henderson. Is Carthage right now. Things were looking so good until a penalty prevented the hopes of Carthage, and then a sack, and play clock ran down to 0. But I think a timeout was called just in the nick of time. It was wrong. I thought for a moment that they had called a timeout, but nope. That was a false start. Backs him up to the 29-yard line now. I wasn't going to say anything about the penalties against Carthage because the penalties hadn't happened. It was just a couple of losses on the play, but now a penalty, and it actually is similar to the first drive from Henderson. Penalties and sacks prevented this drive from going well. This could make all the difference in the world if he comes away with a catch, but he cannot. It's Dwayne Ingram on the near sideline, cannot make that catch. Carthage side, Henderson side of the football field. It would have been a first down. It would have been huge for them, considering they need 25 yards to make the first down. At least they could have made it manageable. But not manageable at all here. 25 yards, a little too much to ask for your offense. The punt team's going to have to come out after a couple of first downs picked up. It'll unfortunately come to an end here for Carthage drive. But what a way to break the momentum if you're Henderson. Good bounce here, just taking it, not allowing that one to come anywhere near. Was showing Alexander. He and Cortland Jackson were back deep to return it, but they'll just allow this one to go back. Wisely doing so. It does take a bit of a Bulldog bounce. Pretty good punt. Pass this football inside the 20-yard line as they're going to mark it at the 17 in the near hash mark. So Henderson's going to have to go a little bit further distance. They had scored a touchdown on their last drive, but it was called back because of a holding penalty. 3:24 remaining in this first quarter, and it's just their second drive of this football game. First one was going oh so well until a holding penalty and then a sack on 3rd and long. Ended in a 42-yard missed field goal attempt by their kicker Axel Romero. So here they go again. And they're already going to throw a fade to the far side, a one-on-one situation. That catch is going to be made on the far side, bringing it down Caleb Medford. Not much experience under that young man's belt. Just a sophomore, but he comes away with a senior catch. Experience doesn't matter much to him there. As he is letting the moment come to him. First down to the 42-yard line. 3:11 remaining in the first quarter. And it gives him a little bit more wiggle room as they draw near midfield. He looked like he was going to throw a pitch there for a moment, but Hall will rather tuck it away and keep it himself, and he takes it to the 45-yard line, gain of 3, make it 2nd down and 7. 2:45 remaining in this first quarter. Stephen F. Austin University, what a sight we have here at Lumberjacks. Magnificent football stadium. They haven't hosted a high school football game in over 4 years. So glad to be a part of this one. What a game they have. The quick throw on the near side. The sophomore's got it again as he is very close to midfield. I think he's right at the 50-yard line. And down goes Medford after he makes the catch. Again, Trey Hall. It's going to be 3rd down, but a manageable one. 2 yards to go. Needs to get to the 48-yard line. And the Carthage side of the football field. Let's see if they can get it here. 3rd and 2. We're under 2 minutes to play in this quarter. Trips right with tight end. That's an interesting formation. And they'll just run it. The right side, and they get a couple of blocks, but that is an incredible tackle to prevent them from getting the first down. Let's see who that young man was. I can't tell his number. Cole Whitlock, there it is. Great block, or actually just a great stop from him. No gain on the play, as it appeared Hall was going to take off and get the first down, but he will not. But they are going to go for it on 4th down and 2. Right at midfield. This is only the 2nd 4th down conversion. Never mind. He's going to punt it away, and we see that a lot too. I think that is an excellent decision. Nobody in the backfield. And with a low drive, it was able to carry down. And even if that one would have trickled into the end zone, it was going at such a slow pace that his teammates would have been there to stop it anyway. So that is a magnificent idea, a magnificent punt. Actually, 43-yard punt. So this is a tough situation for Carthage. So they begin pretty deep in their own side of the football field. 47 seconds to go in the first quarter. Nobody has scored yet. This is only the 3rd drive of the game from Carthage. Pass up the middle is going to be complete. First down to the 25-yard line. Ingram gets another first down for his team. Now down to 30 seconds in the first quarter. Just a single back. This is interesting. You don't see this too often in high school ranks, and he's playing awfully deep. They're going to throw the football. They had him full. A couple of blockers on the far side and breaking loose on the sideline and giving himself a first down. What a catch and run. I believe that was Bowens. That was Bowens. Made the catch and run. It's actually pushed out of bounds a little sooner than I thought, but still a good gain there to the 42-yard line. So now they approach midfield. Still no score, 10 seconds remaining. This could be the final play of the first quarter. It's going to be a handoff. Went with the stop, about 3 yards into his run, Ingram, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. No score between these two teams. Got a good one going here from SFA. As teams return to their sideline, that will officially do it. 1 quarter in the books. Stick around, lots more to come right here on TexanLive.com. One quarter down, 3 to go. In this regional final matchup between Carthage and Henderson scoreless after one quarter. It is a second down and 7 situation ball on the 45-yard line. This is only the third drive of the game. As the football is going to be thrown, and that is caught, and he is going to go into the end zone untouched. DeQuavius Bowens, who just made the reception to get the first down, gets the touchdown pass here, 55 yards, and Carthage, the first ones to strike, 6-0. Somebody had to score at some point. And first, it is the Bulldogs. Alberto Segala puts the point up and through to make it a 7-0 score. 11:52 remaining in the second quarter. We'll take actually our first break of this game. Be right back. You're watching UIL Playoffs on Texan Live, presented to you by TexanDrive.com. 55-yard touchdown reception makes this one a 7-0 score as a team that's undefeated. Carthage Bulldogs, they strike first. They have a 7-0 advantage as they'll kick it away, and this will be just the third drive of the game for Henderson when they do receive it. 93 yards on that drive, which ended that way. Plant to the far side, across the 33-yard line. He's hit pretty good, and you can hear it in the stadium. That's just, he was an awesome pouring in there. Decent field position as they begin here. Does the Henderson Lions. They're no strangers to winning a state title either. In this program's history, they did win the 3A state championship in 2010, going 13-2 overall on the season. They didn't even win that district either. Does that sound familiar? 3-2 in district play. They beat Chapel Hill 28-21 in the state finals. Just a few years later, in 2016, a team that did not win their district. You're looking at it right here, the Carthage Bulldogs, and some players on this team still a part of what has been a tremendous ride for them, I'm sure, since being a part of this football program. State championship last year. Hoping to do the same this year. They're looking awfully good so far in the year. This could be their toughest task here in these Henderson Lions. The district rival, these two teams, very familiar with each other. And a great turnout here at SFA. Second down and 9 to go. Just about a minute into the second quarter. We already have a first score. There's a throw right up the middle as that pass is dunked and caught. And trailing Blanton. Tremendous catch by him. I mean, that's not an easy task to make a catch right between defenders like that. No, you're going to get hit. So his first idea, I'm sure, was just to make the football, or just to catch the football and hold on to it. He's been playing long enough where he knows he has to brace for an impact. Third down and a measly 1 yard to go. That 1 yard can seem like 100 at times, though, trust me. 10:38 remaining in the second quarter and the first half. Make no mistake, it is cold here at the stadium here in Nacogdoches, Texas. 12 seconds on the play clock. And another switch comes here in the line. This is interesting. Trying to catch them off guard as much as they can. Play clock down to 4. They get the snap on the throw on the near sideline. It's going to be complete, but he stepped out of bounds. You can see it over here on the near sideline at the 47-yard line. Caleb Medford again makes the grab. But it's good enough for the first down, and that's all they needed was just a yard, and they picked it up. Very clever fashion. 10-11 remaining in the first half. Fresh set of downs for the Lions. Freeney is going to get the call this time towards the strong side. He'll be hit by a big brick wall there. He'll actually end up losing about a yard, half yard I should say, on the play. It'll back it up right in between the 47 and 46 yard line. They're officially going to call this one 2nd down and 11 to go. 9:45 remaining in the quarter. Play clock is at 7. I think a timeout's going to be called here. It is. Henderson's going to call the first timeout. And we'll take the timeout with them. 9:29 remaining. 7-0 your score. Back in just a moment here on Texan Live. On a chilly Friday night, we get things back going after the timeout here at SFA. The two rivals, Carthage and Henderson, going head-to-head right now. 7-0 game, 9:29 remaining. Here's a 2nd down and 11. And the flag is up on the play, so this one might be coming back. A great catch and run. Not to be taken away from Caleb Medford, but it is. As the flag is around midfield. Would have been close to the 30-yard line in Carthage territory. But it wasn't meant to be. So the eligible man down the field will push the football back to the 41-yard line, I do believe. Yep, 41-yard line. Carthage 13-0 this season, I mentioned before. 13-2 last season. Whatever happens to them this year, the record, ironically, is going to be better than when they won a state championship. Bedford out of bounds at the 40-yard line. What a way to break loose there from the rest of the pack. He has been a shining star for them so far in this first half. As he gets it down to the 39-yard line after being denied to the 30-yard line earlier. The penalty brought the football back. 9:13 remaining in the first half. Fresh set of downs for the Lions. Trey Hall. Freeney's going to get the call here. We'll pick up some positive yards out to the 37-yard line. 3 minutes into the second quarter. Second down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. 15 seconds on the play clock. Lions back to the huddle. They're taking their time right now. 10 seconds remaining on the play clock. They'll have plenty of time still here to get the snap off. Tight coverage on the near sideline. And he's just going to have to haul this one downfield. No pun intended for Trey Hall. Incomplete pass will bring up 3rd down. There was no receiver in the general vicinity there. I think that's what they're going to try to say here.
Quarterback has not left the pocket, therefore he cannot legally grab the ball. Ball pulled down, it'll be 3rd down.
So originally that's what it looked like, that he did not appear to get out of the pocket, and it's just confirmed there. And either way, there was nobody in sight, and the pressure was coming. You really can't blame him for his instinct to throw the football away there. going to take the loss anyway. But it does set up a really tough situation for his side. 3rd down, and they're calling this one 15 to go. On the 46-yard line. A fade. Beckford, the only man in the vicinity, and he is heavily covered. It'll fall incomplete. Great coverage there from Ashton Hicks. Normally a safety, playing more of a defensive back here, or cornerback. But the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. The punt team will be coming on for the Lions as the Bulldogs hold them off again, and they'll get the football back with 8:20 remaining in the first half. Plenty of time to do some damage. Bowens and Colbert back deep to return this one should they get an opportunity. Line drive kick here. The coverage downfield is tremendous, and Bowens is wisely going to let that one fall by. Goes to a 40-yard punt there. Inside the 10-yard line once again. It's going to be spotted at the 9-yard line. 8:06 remaining. I got to see what the temperature is right now. I know it's fallen since the sun has left us for the night. I got 34 degrees. I could be wrong. That's just in Houston. Six remaining, as I just mentioned, and Bulldogs are going to begin the next drive with a 7-0 advantage. They'll run the football because they don't have much room to work with, and they'll get some good yardage here from their running back. I believe that was Ingram who takes it to the 25-yard line. Yes, it was. It was Ingram, and he definitely gets them some more wiggle room back to work with. Good play from him. The chains move. Team moves. Starting right about where they would if it was a kickoff return. Or a touchback, I should say. Coming over from the sweep. Here's the handoff. And bounces off one tackle. Cuts inside. It still gets across the 40-yard line. A first down. A gain of about 17 yards. Magnificent play by Makai Colbert. $7:25 remaining in the quarter. Couple of fakes there. Ingram with a dodge. What a play from him. And he still drags a couple of defenders around with him. Right to midfield. Well, he turned a 1-yard loss into an 8-yard gain. And it'll be 2nd down, or 7-yard gain still. 2nd down and 3 to go. What a run, Mr. Ingram. And he is making things happen for his team, no doubt about that, especially in this drive. A couple of runs from him have already picked up a first down. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Can the undefeated Carthage, defending 4A Division I state champions, made an incredible run last year. And they'll call a timeout with 6:35 remaining in the first half. Their first timeout of the second half. We'll take again the timeout with them and be right back here on Texan Live. We're in the 4A Division I, Region 3 Finals. Or to simplify things, just the regional finals here on Texan Live. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. I'm Mark M. Johnson, along with associate producer Jesse Wolf, production engineer back in the studio Russell Lambert, on behalf of our owner Bert Brocker. We really are very appreciative that you could all be a part of this Texan Live subscription and everything that we do here. It means a lot to us. And everything that we work for, we try to make this the best broadcast we possibly can. Right now, we're hoping we're bringing you a good one here. I know this game is good. It's only 7-0, and that's the way a regional final matchup should be. Carthage with the lead and with the football. They have the football in a 2nd down and 3 situation, and they're going to get a sack here as Henderson to begin this contest. It's a combination there between Pollard and Pollard and Library. Come away with the sack, and that'll push the football all the way back to the 44-yard line to make it now a 3rd and long situation. 3rd and 9. It's longer than it was before. It went from 2nd down and 3 to 3rd and 9. So we're officially halfway through the 2nd quarter. See if they can convert again here on 3rd down. They can. Pass is going to be complete just outside the 40-yard line to the 41. As Ingram, Waylon Ingram, that is, will make the catch. Five and a half to play in the quarter. Weak side, that's going to pick up a couple of yards. Now 5 minutes remaining. That'll make it 2nd down, about 6 to go. Try to get some score updates as quick as I can here. Network not working too well right now, so bear with me. I'll get this up and going as soon as I can. 4:35 and ticking remaining in the quarter. Here's a 2nd down and 6 from the 37 in Henderson territory. That's actually going to be a loss of a yard, as Colbert cannot find the outside or cannot get through that pile of Lions. So we push back to the 39-yard line. That'll turn to 3rd and 8. Actually lost him 2. Other games going on in this division as we're slowly narrowing down these UIL playoffs, the Elite Eights. Another timeout will be called here with 3:55 remaining. Bulldogs, the 2nd one of this quarter. A 3rd and 8 when we come back here on Texan Live. Stevensville and Hershey, 24-13. Yellow Jackets with the lead over the Huskies at halftime. Over in that game, Kennedale and Kaufman, their score 21-14. Kennedale the lead with 5:39 remaining in the first half over there in La Vega. Actually the 2nd-ranked best team remaining in this division of the UIL playoffs. They have a 14-3 edge over Liberty right now. 4:03 remaining in the first half. Those are the scores around the 4A Division I brackets. In trouble right now. This one is going to be over the head, not even turning around in time. But I'm not sure he would have been able to receive that pass. They may be caught with an ineligible man down the field. We'll wait and see here. 3:49 remaining until the end of the first half. Bulldogs have used 2 timeouts. It's a legal formation. Either way, penalties decline, and it will bring up 4th down. They've gone for it once on 4th down. A penalty allowed them to move the football up 5 more yards, and then couldn't convert after that. And it appears they'll go for it again here on 4th down. It for a moment looked like Henderson was going to try on 4th down from a similar spot. They decided to punt it away, though, with an empty backfield. 8 seconds remaining on the play clock. They're still looking over the sideline for a correct call. They may have to burn another timeout here, down to 2 seconds. And they do indeed use their final timeout of the first half. It comes with 3:49 remaining until the end of the first half. And again, we'll take the timeout with it. Be right back here on Texan Live.
Final timeout of the half.
3:49 remaining until the end of the first half. Play clock winding down on Carthage. They had to use their third and final timeout of this first half. And they have a 4th down and 8 situation. Now that they have a chance to talk it over, let's see what kind of play they can come up on 4th. They want to throw it, that's for sure. That's going to be incomplete, and you can see right up the middle. And he's throwing his hands up in the air. Couldn't believe the pass did go to him. Nacogdoches Bowens was open across the field, but they did not see him in time, and the pass falls short, and a turnover on downs. A second time that Carthage has done that in this first half. Happened on their second drive of the game. It happens here. And now they have to surrender the football over to Henderson with 3:45 remaining in the first half. Carthage ranked number 1 at the 4A level amongst all the teams. They are the favorites to win another state title. They lead by only 1 score here against their district rivals, the Henderson Lions. The Lions have 2 timeouts remaining. The screen didn't work out there. That football pops loose, but I think it's an incomplete pass. We're going to say he caught it and he dropped it. That's a fumble. Wow. It did not look like he had complete possession of that, to be honest with you, but they got a better angle down there than I do, and that's going to be a fumble. Medford cannot hold on to it, and that is going to put Carthage in prime position to take a 2-score lead at the 33-yard line. They will have the football to begin this drive. The best starting field position of this game by either side. 3:38 remaining, plenty of time to get the football down the field, at least attempt a field goal before the end of the first half. Henderson likely going to have another shot, though, before the end of the first half, and that football comes loose. Somebody misread the signs there as Ingram's fighting for his life now as he cuts it inside, but he's going down at his own end of the football field. The 49-yard line he's backed up to. That's a loss of about 18 or 19 yards. That's tremendous. Somebody misread the play call there as everybody was running forward with the football. Nobody thought that they were going to get the snap. I think it was supposed to be a direct snap to Ingram. I can't be certain, but that's a big loss and an opportunity squandered for sure for Carthage unless they can make it up here. 18-yard loss, officially they're calling it. 2nd down and 28 from their own 49-yard line. In double coverage, the safety's going to pick this one off on the far side. Across midfield, one turnover to another. And that is how you make up for a turnover. Traylon Blanton with the interception. And we're going to have to take a break as tensions start to rise here. Right back here on Texas. So we had to take a bit of a break there, as let's just say the teams were not seeing eye to eye on the field, as penalty flags went up all over the place. Some personal fouls coming up here. Multiple ones, I should say. So let's see if they just offset. They may have some ejections as well. But they're just trying to decide that one out right now. 2:38 remaining until the end of the first half. 7-0. The only score came on the first play of the second quarter. 55-yard touchdown strike to Nacogdoches Bowens.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Everything else said that we first down.
Well, tensions What do you expect from two teams that, oh my goodness. You have to imagine the biggest rivals in any sport going after each other right now. SFA against Sam Houston. Lakers against the Celtics. Yankees, Red Sox. This is a very similar situation here between Carthage and Henderson. Tensions are going to get high, and it's just to be expected. These guys want to win, and they'll do anything they possibly can to win. Offset penalties after the interception. They're going to have the football towards the weak side. Only a couple of yards on that carry from Freeney. Flags are up. Field yet again. There's going to be a holding penalty. We'll have to wait and see. Wait. That was a free play. We'll scratch that last play. It's not in the books. That penalty is. It'll make it first down and 5 at the 32-yard line on the far hash mark. Henderson has the football in prime position to score themselves. Things did not look good for them just moments ago. Then an interception turned things around for them. The fade and a lot of pass is going to fall incomplete. Edford was the intended target. I was just about to say a lot of contact, but referees decide these two are just going after each other. In a sense of battling, a penalty. Incomplete pass will make it second down and 5. 2:05 remaining in the first half. Coming over from the sweep. And going down immediately. What a tackle made there by Jose. So Julian. Cortland Jackson came over off the sweep, but he could not get to the outside in time to get away. And that would be tackler. And Julian, senior, comes away with a big stop. That's a loss on the play. So that'll make it third down and now 7 to go. Football's backed up to the 34-yard line. Big play coming up here. Third down. Oh, looking to throw. He doesn't see much. He's going to have to run with it. He's going to be tackled from behind around the 30-yard line. He'll end up picking about 3 or 4 yards, but he's still going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and another decision for Henderson. And this has got to be disappointing to them after they got the interception, brought it all the way back into Carthage territory, got a penalty on first down, and they still could not pick up the first down. They had a first down and 5. And they have not been able to pick up the first down, but it appears that they will keep their offense in the field to try to go for it on fourth down. The second time that you're going to see them try for a fourth down conversion. The first time, actually, it was unofficial because Hall ended up punting it away. This time, they try to catch him off guard, and they may kick it away. They may try the field goal. I'm not sure yet. They're just trying to get the defense to jump, and they did not, so they will call a timeout here with 32 seconds remaining until the end of the first half. We'll take the timeout with them once again and be right back here on Texas Live. 32 seconds remain as a fourth down and 4 situation. Actually, I think it's 3. It says 4 on the board, but the way it looks down there, it looks more like 3. And they're going to go for it. They try to get the defense to jump. They couldn't. They called the timeout. And here they go. A fourth down conversion, and that's going to be incomplete. Bowden almost got the pass deflection, but it'll fall incomplete. And Henderson cannot pick up the first down. They will be unable to score before the end of the first half. And it's looking more and more like Carthage is going to take some kind of lead going into the first half. They have 26 seconds, but they have no timeouts remaining. They may just concede here with a couple of runs or possibly even kneeling it down. But either way, they have all the control right now to take the lead going into the half, and the defense coming away with a shutout against a very good offense put together by these Henderson Lions all throughout the season. 33-31 was the score last year in the UIL playoffs and the regional semifinals between these two sides. Carthage coming out on top. Ingram with just a simple run to the right side. He's not going to be able to stop the clock, and that should do it for the first half. A lot of emotions, a lot of tensions rising between the two sides, but in the end, Carthage is going to have the lead by just one score going into the next half. It's going to be second down and 10 as the clock continues to tick right now. We're at 5 seconds, and finally we'll go to the respective sides. Great first half of football. I don't know about y'all, but I like defensive games every now and then, and this one is turning into a beauty. It's only 7 points between the two sides. Great defense has us at the half. Well, stick around, everyone, for the Texan Live halftime show presented to you by Panera Bread, where the bands and the dance teams and the drill teams from each Carthage and Henderson will be performing at the half. So stick around for that, and we'll see you for the second half here on Texan Live. Second half just about to be underway here from SFA, Stephen and Austin. Carthage holding on to that 7-0 advantage, but they will kick it off to Henderson to begin this second half. Just barely across the 20-yard line, marches on Traylon Blanton. Start with decent field position. Yeah, just one score in that first half. 55-yard touchdown pass from Gunnar Capps as he connected. Quavius Bowles. Some of the back and forth affair. A couple of turnovers from each side. Just missing out on an opportunity to score before the end of the first half was Henderson. Opted to not go for the field goal attempt. Would rather go for it on 4th down and 3. Could not convert. And turned the football over with under 30 seconds remaining in that first half. And just one play ran Carthage to end the first half. But they have had their opportunity, they have had their chances as Henderson. They even scored a touchdown that was called back because of a holding penalty in the first drive of the game. They missed a 42-yard field goal later in that drive as well. So the opportunity, they've been knocking at the door but have not been able to quite get through. As the flag goes up here, stops that play dead from even happening. And it's going to be an offside penalty against the offense. So the 2nd and 3 will turn to a 2nd and 8 with a lucky 11-11 remaining in the third quarter. Just underway here in the second half. Carthage 13-0 undefeated team, ranked number 1 across this 4A level amongst all the teams even in Division 1 and Division 2. It is 28 degrees here in Nacogdoches tonight, so if you hear my teeth chattering a bit, I'm outside on the roof right now. That's why. It is very, very cold out. Well, we'll take it towards the weak side, and he'll get it to about the 8-yard line. Making 3rd and short. Again, we all thank you for joining us here. I'm Mark M. Johnson, along with our associate producer Jesse Wolf, production engineer back studio Russell Lambert, our owner Bert Brocker. All thrilled you can join us in this Friday night edition of Texas High School Playoff Football. Good one going here. 3rd down and 2 to go. As we're just about 2 minutes into the second half. Ball's going to throw it, and that ball's going to be picked off. Colbert comes away with the pick at the 26-yard line, and he had a step on him, and you could tell. Surprised Hall even threw it at that stage, but they're trying to pick up the first down, and they could not do it, and they end up turning the football over. So on their opening drive, not only does it not pick up the first down, but it gives Carthage prime position here. They started off at the 33-yard line at one point off of a turnover. Now they start off at the 26-yard line off of a turnover. Now last time, Henderson did hold them. Not only hold them, but they intercepted the football. That was towards the end of the first half. So let's see what happens this time around. Can Carthage correct that mistake, or Henderson pick up another turnover? On the move, Ingram. He's inside the 5-yard line, down to the 1-yard line. 25-yard line. Number 28, and he has his team in an excellent position to take a 2-score lead. It'll be first and goal from the 1-yard line. Quickly to the line go the Bulldogs. Caps with a handoff. Leaping into the end zone. Touchdown, Carthage. Keontae Ingram finishes off what he started, and that'll make it a 13-0 score with 9:53 remaining in the third quarter. Segala in to kick this extra point. He's made the first one, and he could have booted that one from 40 yards out, maybe even 50. 14-0 your new score, 9:53 to go in this third quarter. We'll take a short break, but we shall return. You're watching the Wild Browns on Texan Live, presented to you by TexanDrive.com. Well, Keontae Ingram has been taking a lot of the workload on the ground, and he's finally rewarded here with a touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown after a 25-yard touchdown, or excuse me, 25-yard run, finishes off with that 1-yard run, and it's now 14-0. That was off a turnover, by the way. Here's Cortland Jackson returning this one. He's across the 25-yard line, brought down to about the 27. And they'll try this one again. Will Henderson now trailing by 2 scores. The last thing they want to do is fall yet again to their arch nemesis here in Carthage. It would be the third consecutive time dating back to last season in which they lost. Not only did they lose to them, I mean in the UIL playoffs, but they lost to them this season in district play. That was a district opener, by the way. That was back on October 6th. Completely different teams, as you might see as the teams make adjustments. That was week number 4. All in trouble. He managed to escape for a moment, getting back to the original line of scrimmage. Before being pushed back. I'm not sure that he was able to get back to the original line of scrimmage, actually, maybe in a half-yard behind it, but close enough to the point where you can call this one 2nd and 10. Carthage really coming into their own this season. As I mentioned before, they actually handed them the first loss. They started off with a 3-0 record. Did the Henderson Lions, and then they even took a 35-21 win over Chapel Hill, so they're feeling pretty good going into the opening district game against Carthage, and ended up losing 42-17. That's pass is complete on the near sideline. Blanton takes it out of bounds near the first down marker, about a yard shy of it. It'll be a manageable 3rd and 1 as we're 3 minutes into the third quarter. Second drive of the game for Carthage, or excuse me, for Henderson. Carthage got a turnover, an interception. Just 2 plays later, 25-yard run by Ingram, and then a 1-yard run from Ingram scored. And that's been the difference in the second half. Could be the difference in the game. We'll have to wait and see about that, because that's a second turnover on their own side of the football field Henderson has made in this game. Tough situation indeed. Hall will run this one again, and he is going to be read very well on this play. He might have picked up the first down, though. He just needed a yard. Did he get enough of forward motion? He did. Picked up about a yard and a half. Only needed a yard. So they'll move the chains. The football will be placed right in between the 38-39 yard line with the rest of the downs for the Lions. Winner of this game will move on to the state semifinals. What a tremendous feat it would be. But for these two teams, state championship or nothing, I'm sure, is their mindset. The play action. Pass on the near sideline. Medford's going to catch this one. Good for 11 yards right near midfield. And another fresh set of downs for the Lions coming up here. I mentioned before, Caleb Medford, just a sophomore on the team. He can also play a good defensive back if they need him to. He's able to pick up the first down here. We're at Bryce Stadium. Home of Bryce, to be exact. Home of the SFA Lumberjacks playing the Southland Conference in the NCAA. This run towards each side, right at midfield, about a half yard picked up there by the Lions. That'll make it second down, and we'll call it a long 9. 7:45 left in this third quarter. There's plenty of time for Henderson to get back into this game. They just need a score here to give themselves a little more confidence. We'll bust out the big jackets on the sideline here for Carthage. 28 degrees, I'm not kidding. That's the temperature. Pass up the middle, that's going to be complete. Another first down on the 12-yard pickup. Blanton again with the reception to the 39-yard line. Henderson, we've seen this from them before, though. They put together impressive drives, especially through the air on short passes. Finishing them is what they've had the most difficult time with, because they still have a big goose egg up on their side of the scoreboard. They trail 14-0. We're now down to 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Taking their time right now, 10 seconds on the play clock. They can waste some more if they want to. Deep to knee on the backfield, but it's going to be Hall who takes it himself, and he's got himself a good gain of about 16 or 17 yards inside the 25-yard line. Very, very close to the red zone. And that football continues to move down the field very well in the tight protective coverage of these Henderson Lions. They're covering it nicely. They're moving it nicely. Let's see if they can finish it off. Still anybody's game despite the 14-0 advantage for the number 1 team in 4A. 2010 state champs against the 2016 state champs. Rolling out that pass to Medford, complete around the 20-yard line. Not much of a gain, but still something. That's about 3 yards to make it second down and 7 as we're officially halfway through this third quarter. Carthage defeated Huffman 46-10 in the bi-district round of the UIL playoffs, then defeated Bronzesport 45-21, and last week in the regional semifinals, Silsbee 64-36. 5:40 and ticking remaining in this quarter. Second down and 7. Here's the snap. Looking downfield. That pass again is going to be complete up the middle. That coverage is just... Oh, the football comes loose! And Carthage has it on the other end. Another disastrous way to end a magnificent drive by these Henderson Lions. Carthage again comes away with a big defensive stop, and it ends up once again in the hands of the man who came away with the interception earlier. Of course, I'm talking about Makai Colbert, saying his name quite a lot tonight. My goodness, Henderson just cannot catch a break against this team. In danger of falling for the third consecutive time. Twice in the playoffs. They won as a favorite last year, ended up falling 33-31 in the regional semifinals. Hoping history doesn't repeat itself, but Carthage with the edge right now. Here's the pitch to the outside, finding room to work with Ingram. He's across midfield, and he's already in the Henderson territory, pushed out of bounds finally at the 40-yard line, and getting things going right away is Ingram. Ingram's got space and room to work with. He's going to cut this one inside. Cuts it again. He could go all the way as he dives forward. He's going to be down again at the 1-yard line. 39-yard run. Almost got him into the end zone, but he's just shy. And again at the 1-yard line, it's going to be first and goal for these Carthage Bulldogs. As they're chanting on the sideline right now, they know that they're in the promised lands of making it a 3-score game. The single back, they'll try it again to Ingram. He is in the end zone. Another 1-yard touchdown run from Keontae Ingram. Passes a 3-score game, 20-0. He had a 25-yard run on the last drive down to the 1-yard line and scored. This time he gets a 39-yard run down to the 1-yard line and scores again. Alberto Segala trying to make it 3 for 3 for PATs. With 50 yards of distance beyond that, he does it yet again. 4:46 remaining in this third quarter. Carthage has taken over a bit in this game. They scored twice in the second half. Lead 21-0. Back in just a moment. You're watching UIL Playoffs on Texan Live, presented to you by TexanDrive.com. 4:46 left in this third quarter. 2 1-yard touchdown runs in this half alone. Very easily could have been long touchdown runs by Ingram. Instead, he'll settle for the 1-yard touchdown runs. Trust me, especially in these playoffs. 21-0 your score as this football's going to be kicked off to the near sideline of the 15, cutting this one across the field, trying to get forward. The football may come loose for a moment, but diving back on it in time. Portland Jackson, I'm not sure it came loose, but he sure hit the turf like it did. It just came out from underneath him. We didn't have snow in the Nacogdoches area today, but across a lot of areas here in South Texas, there was snow, what we call snow anyway. Ice particles, so to speak. Sleet, whatever you want to call it. Looks like snow to us, so that's what we refer to as. So it's awfully cold in South Texas. 28 degrees down on the field right now. Not conditions these kids are used to, but I'm sure they know they have to play through it. Hall and his team trailing by 3 scores needed something on this drive to get things rolling. That's a very short gain of about 2 yards, make it second down and 8. 4:25 now and ticking left in the third quarter. I'll get you some more score updates in this division as soon as I can. On the 24-yard line. There's a second down and 8. In trouble, and he's going to go down. That's a sack. And a big one. Put all his weight down and drove straight to the ground. And that's a sack for Jose de Julian. Used all 195 plus pounds of him. And brought that quarterback to the turf, and not much Hall could have done about that. Takes a big loss here. 6-yard loss to be exact. Third down and 14. 3.5 to go in the quarter. Dare I say time running out on the Henderson football squad. And what a big play that is. On 3rd and 15. Not 14, 15. Even worse. They managed to pick up the first down as the pass is complete to Traylon Blanton. Gets it done for his team, just as I say that there's flags up on the near side of the 25-yard line. And it's against Henderson's coming back. As I said before, Henderson just cannot catch a break. So the 3rd and 15 will turn into 3rd and 20, and that first down is wiped away. And they thought it was hard to pick up a 3rd and 15 spot. They're going to have to do it for 3rd and 20. Back-to-back plays. Not something that is done very often. Let's see what happens here in 3rd and 20. Henderson knows that they need some kind of momentum to go their way. Let's see what happens. Look at this. Pass is complete, but just shy of the first down marker Medford is going to be, it does appear. Or did he get the first down? As you look over at the far sideline now, they're trying to indicate that is a first down. That's unbelievable. That's a word I try not to use so much. I have to use it there. That is back-to-back plays. When it's 3rd down and 15 or beyond, back-to-back plays, they pick up first downs. That's incredible. I'll use that word instead. We're down to 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And Henderson, that could be a turning point for him. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. Not going to do so well here. Ball's going to go down for a sack beyond the 20-yard line as they were wise to what they were doing there. Carthage picks up the sack and a big loss on first down. Backs this one up to the 19-yard line. They push it forward to the 20. Still close enough. And a devastating blow to them. That's a 12-yard loss. It'll make it 2nd down and 22 to go. Not a good situation to be in. 2:25 and ticking remaining in the quarter. But it is 2nd down. They picked up the 3rd and 15, got called back, got 3rd and 20 anyway. They had 21 yards to go here, but they have a couple more downs to do it. They'll call timeout to make sure they get it right here. It's first down by either side in the 2nd half. 2:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll take the timeout. We'll come right back here in Texas Live. 3rd quarter action. 2:11 remaining. And we just saw Henderson pick up a couple of different first downs. One of them was called back on 3rd and 15. Then he moved back on the penalty because an eligible receiver downfield had picked up the 3rd and 20. Turned another tough spot here. Just a play later. 2nd down and 22 after the sack. Pass up the middle. There wasn't very tight coverage, and this one's going to make 3rd down manageable out to the 30-yard line. The pass is going to be complete this time to Tyreek Blaine. So the 2 Blaine brothers there making catches, moving the football downfield. That's not very manageable. I apologize. If they pick it up, it's a little more manageable. It's a 30-yard line instead of 30 and 22. It'll be 3rd and 12. From the 30-yard line, about 35 remaining in the quarter. Ball's going to haul this one downfield. It's going to be complete, and they do it again. Unbelievable. I'm telling you, I only use that word when I mean it. That is something. As the other Glenn picks up the first down, trailing. His 3rd down conversion is absolutely tremendous. Henderson can score here. It should make it very interesting. From 27 remaining. We're set it down to the 47-yard line, still in their own territory. One timeout used between the 2 sides has been by Henderson. Football pops loose, but he's able to pick it up as all. He'll lose yardage on the play, but it's better to lose the football. As big Felipe Ponce almost got that football away and turned the football over. That would have been the 3rd time in this game alone that the football would have been coughed up by Henderson on their own side of the football field. But they will at least salvage possession, but they lose yardage out of it. Only 2, but still. 2nd down and 12 to go. 50 seconds left in the quarter. Pass on the far sideline. Trailing Glenn with the catch right at midfield. He's stopped. start the clock as soon as they place the football down. And just as I say that, they don't start the clock. He got out of bounds. That's why they didn't start the clock. So it's not 39 seconds right now. It'll start as soon as he's pulled the snap, and there it is. Goes down to 37 seconds as the flag is thrown. It's an offside call against the offense and push them back 5 yards to the 45. So the 3rd and 7 will turn into 3rd and 12. Henderson on multiple occasions have picked up 3rd and long first downs on this drive. One of them's been called back, but they're still even 5 yards pushed back beyond them. They're able to pick up the first down when they go to the 3rd and 12. Can they convert yet again on a 3rd and long situation? 21 seconds to go. They're of course going to go throw to the air. That's too low, as it was intended for a trailing play, and this drive may come to an end. And the clock stops 16 seconds remaining in the quarter. It is indeed going to come to an end. A great drive put together by them, getting a couple of 3rd down conversions, but could not get that one. And I'm sure they're devastated that they have to give this football right back over to Carthage, especially trailing by 3 scores with only 1 quarter to play. They thought it's been hard to score throughout this entire game, and it's going to be even more difficult to have 3 scores at least in the 4th quarter alone while holding Carthage to nothing. Here's the punt. It's by Hall. Fair catch is going to be called. Backpedaling and leaping up, making the catch at the 20-yard line. It's going to be the man who made a touchdown grab earlier, Quavius Bowles. He's got 1 touchdown, and Keontae Ingram has the other 2. It's 21-0 advantage for the Bulldogs. So they'll head back out on offense for possibly one last play in this 3rd quarter as they huddle right now. Come back out. 9 seconds will remain. That should be enough time for just 1 play, pending a quick incomplete pass or penalty. Something of that nature anyway. 20-yard line. Hunter Caps will look over behind him and see 1 single back. Let's see if he goes to him. He does. That's Ingram. He'll pick up a yard at most. 2nd down and 9. We return for the 4th quarter because zeros are up on the board in this 3rd. 3rd quarter's in the books. It's 21-0 Carthage, and they have the football to start off the 4th quarter. It's going to be a tough journey for Henderson, but can they do it? One last quarter for SFA. Stick around with us. We'll have it for you right after this here in Texan Live. Three quarters down, 1 to go. Stephen F. Austin University's Homer Bryce Stadium in Nacogdoches, Texas. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Mark M. Johnson, along with our associate producer Jesse Wolf, production engineer back in studio Russell Lambert, our owner Bert Brocker. We begin this quarter with a 21-0 lead. Carthage has the football and the lead. 2nd down and 9 from the 21-yard line. Carthage won last year in the regional semifinals against their district rival Henderson, 33-31, ended up winning the Class 4A Division I state championship. He'll begin this quarter with an offsides to back him up to the 16-yard line, 2nd and 14 when they return there, just 1 second into this quarter. As we do have some updates on the scores around the division, it looks like the number 7 ranked Kennedale is going to hold on to their win against Kaufman, 49-21, as they begin the 4th quarter. Caps looks to throw wide open. This is going to make it a 4-score game. 86-yard touchdown. And it's the 2nd one of the game for the Quavius Bowens. And that could just about put this one away, as the hopes of Henderson are looking more and more bleak, but the hopes of repeating yet again for Carthage looking good. 27-0. Abdallah with a 50-yard extra point. Boy, he's got a boot on him. 28-0 your new score. It didn't take him long in the second quarter. It didn't take him long in the fourth quarter to score. 28-0 your new score. 11:47 remaining in this game. We'll take a break and be right back. You're watching UIL Playoffs on Texan Live, presented to you by TexanDrive.com. 28-0 now. 86-yard touchdown strike from Caps as he connects again with his main target there, DeQuavius Bowens. The second time they have connected. The other one was for 55 yards to open up the scoring. So the 28-0 lead. Taking this one across the field. He tries to do everything he possibly can. He's got to hand it to Corlin Jackson. He hasn't been able to do much as the special teams unit even has been tremendous for Carthage. This game was awfully close. They were neck and neck. Somebody was going to have to break loose at some point. Henderson appeared to be the first ones to score. It was called back. They missed a 42-yard field goal. They haven't really been able to score since then. As they're calling an official timeout down the field for the time being, but we'll keep it right here. It's a real distraction down the field, from what we can tell. As we take a look at some of the other scores around the area, I mean, they've all pretty much been decided here. As La Vega, the team that's predicted to make it into the finals against Carthage, 28-11, they're on top of Liberty in the fourth quarter there. They're about halfway through the fourth quarter. And actually the other one has gone final. Stephenville has defeated the Huskies 54-21. So we'll go over who is going to be matched up next week, pending these scores stay the same. Tall will begin this drive from his own 25 and sky this one well over the head of his intended target, Medford. I'm sure that's what he was trying to do, because wasn't really much hope in that play, so they'll take the loss down, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 25. 11:34 remaining in this quarter, but Henderson is really running out of time now. They're running out of chances to score, in fact. Even if they manage to get some quick scores here, they can just turn the football right over to their running back in Carthage. And take some more time off this clock. That pass is going to be complete on the far side. Knocked out of bounds about the 42-yard line. Goes Traylon Bland, the main target of Trey Hall. He really didn't have anywhere to throw. And if you're wondering why he didn't throw the football, it's because there was a lot of red jerseys to the limited amount of white jerseys downfield. And had he thrown that football, that likely would have been a turnover. So you can't really blame him for tucking and running there, because at least they still have possession here. And since it's only first down, might as well have held on to it. There's a flag on the play about midfield. We see situations like this, they typically go against the offense. Over 5,000 people in attendance. We just got word, tremendous. But unfortunately, on the other side of the field, it looks like a lot of the Henderson fans are starting to make their way to the exits. You see a pile of them right now across the way, kind of trying to get out of this miserable cold weather. I'm sure if the conditions were better, they would have brought them stuck around to the end, but it third consecutive time to their arch rival. On a second down and 2. Ball takes himself for about a yard. It'll be third down and 1 as he can't quite pick up the first down. Time will tick away now even more. Each team, well actually only Henderson has used a timeout in this second half. Carthage still has all 3 of theirs remaining. What a year it has been for Carthage, and they try to keep it going. The undefeated record 13-0, and they very close to moving to 14-0. This past game is going to be complete on your sideline, but I'm not sure he picked up the first down. Gates may have prevented him from getting to the first down as Keyshawn Alexander is going to lose a yard out of this. So that'll make it fourth down and 2. Over 2 minutes gone by in this fourth and final quarter. Henderson. Fourth down conversion there, unsuccessful towards the end of the second half. On 4th and 3. There's their second try at it. Coming over from the sweep, instead taking it himself off the fake handoff. They're going to get it this time. 4th and 2. He's going to end up picking up about 6. As Hall picks up the first down, you can see Sean Alexander coming over off the sweep on a fake handoff. Gave him enough opportunity to let that one go by. And first down picked up. 9:15 remaining in this ball game. 28-0. Not sure there's much time, or enough time, I should say, for Henderson to win this ball game. But let's see if they can finish strong. Rolling out, looking downfield. That pass is going to be incomplete by a mile. Coming inside, the pass went outside. Tyreek Blank was the only one in the general vicinity. But pressure coming on Hall, and he knew he had to get rid of it. That's slightly the situation that we saw there. So stops the clock with 8:58 remaining in the game. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Just inside the near hash mark. Got Caps, a couple of touchdowns thrown in this game. Ingram, a couple of 1-yard touchdown runs from him. A couple of touchdown receptions by Bowens. And built up this 28-0 advantage. Not to mention the defense. The countless sacks they've had preventing them from getting certain conversions when they need it. That's when it counts the most. In triple coverage, it would seem that pass nearly intercepted as it falls incomplete to make it third down and 10. Ashton Hicks knocks it down and almost came away with the interception, as you saw. The wide receiver having to turn into a defensive back, so to speak, there for Henderson. So the 3rd and 10 with 8:52 remaining in this game. Them in a tougher situation now. Ball to throw to the far side, and that pass is complete, but a short gain is, you can see from his vantage point, the distance it had to travel gave the defender enough time to make the tackle on Blanton after he made the reception. He picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 4th down now and 8 to go. We're able to get the 4th and 2 earlier, picking up 6 yards in the process, but can they pick this one up here? There are 1 for 2 and 4th down conversions to go along with a missed field goal in this game. Approaching 4 minutes into this quarter, which means 8 minutes remaining, and that pass well over his intended targets. Alexander, the only one in the vicinity, and it's over his head. Incomplete pass, a turnover on downs, and Carthage has the football. They should just about wrap this one up. I know there's a lot of time left in this game, but 4 scores is a lot to come back from, especially from the number 1 team in 4A. I'm not saying it's impossible, but unlikely. 1st and 10. Ingram, of course, is going to take this one for about 5 or 6 yards to the 39-yard line. That should take some time away down on the clock as they reset it to 40. It should take it to about 7:15 to go in this quarter if they decide to wait all the way to the end of that play clock. So Stephenville already in. Their game has already gone final as they defeated Hershey 31-21. On 2nd down and 4, another first down to be picked up here as they took it down to almost the end of the play clock. As they'll reset it again here, the play clock, and they'll reset the change on the far side and press set it down. Carthage can take away even more time. 7:11 on the game clock, 25 seconds on the play clock. So Stevensville awaiting on the winner of Kennedale and Kaufman. The game may have gone final. We'll check on that in just a moment. Not yet. Kennedale up big, 56-28. 10 minutes to go on that. And off again is going to go to Ingram as he tries to get to the outside. And about 3 yards into his run, it looked like he was going to pick up some yardage, but ended up getting bombarded by a host of Lions there. Still picks up 4 yards in the process to the 49-yard. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for him as he comes off the field. They may not use him the rest of this game. It would be wise not to do so, I would imagine. Save him for next week. 6:10 on the game clock, 12 seconds on the play clock. It's kind of a shame that next week, the way it lines up, Smith, the new ball carrier, will take it to right about midfield, close to it anyway, on the 3rd down. It's say about a long 6. It's a long 5, short 6. However you want to look at it. 5:35 on the game clock, 21 seconds on the play clock. So we're likely going to see that matchup next week between La Vega and Carthage, and that's a shame that comes in the semifinals because those are 2 teams that we thought were going to meet in the final, or should have met in the finals at one point because of the seeding though, and the teams that have beat the higher seeds. It's just the way it's lined up. Carthage is actually going to call timeout, 5:11 remaining in this game. They have a big lead, 28-0. We'll take the timeout. We'll be right back here on Texan Live. Some other big scores around the area. We mentioned a couple of other ones, but we look at over towards the 5A Division I bracket. Lake Ridge just took the lead over the defending state champion Highland Park, 35-34 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Over in Dallas, Manville, the ones predicted to win this division over in 5A Division I. They're up 40-20 on Temple, who were the state finalists last year. One towards the right side. Smith's going to carry this one to the 30-yard line, and the press set it out. It's coming for Carthage, and that timeout pays off for them. Each team will have 2 timeouts remaining for the final 5 minutes of this game. And one that I thought was going to be a little bit closer, Angleton up 33-10 over Foster, as the 2 district rivals going head-to-head over there in the regional finals. Foster made it all the way to the state semifinals last year, but to be honest with you, it's surprising to see them so far, especially with how much they lost. That just tells you what a good program is being run over there for the Foster Falcons. 28-0 here in this game, 4:42 remaining in the game. It's a 1st down and 10. Caps going to hand the football off. This one towards the left side, breaking loose on the far end and going towards the end zone inside the 5-yard line, finally being knocked out of bounds. That is going to be a 1st down and then some. Stops the clock with 4:27 remaining in this game. as Tucker Smith has taken over the carries, and he's doing a fine job of it. That's actually down to the 3-yard line. So pretend this is a 2-point conversion, except you have 3 tries to get into the end zone. First and goal. Cap's going to hand this one off to Smith, and he is in just barely for the touchdown. The 3rd rushing touchdown of the game as a flag goes up well after the play was over with an unsportsmanlike penalty likely coming here. But it will make the score 34-0 with the point after to come, and that definitely put this game out of reach for Henderson. And the score just does not reflect the way this game has gone, especially in the first half of Carthage. Boy, hand it to them for absolutely coming out and making the adjustments in the second half to take over this game. 4:22 to go, and they're waiting for the point after.
Touchdown, Tucker Smith.
So try to make this one a 35-0 game. Let's see. Alberto Segala hits another 50-yard extra point. He's pretty close there. Making no doubt to the distance. He makes it 35-0. 4:22 to go in this game. That's a big lead for Carthage. They wrap this one up, and we'll wrap this one up soon. Right now, we'll take a break here in Text Line. Well, as this one has pretty much been all but wrapped up in a tight, neat little bow by Carthage, 35-0. They leave with 4:22 to go in this game. We'll take a look over at the same class, the 4A Division 2 brackets. But the reigning champions, West Orange Stark with them 14-0. They won their game over Salado, and counting right, I believe that's 39 games in a row that they have won. Along with 2 championships and a state finals appearance. Last time they lost was 3 years ago against Foster, a 5A team in a non-conference game. 4:15 to go in this one, and Henderson's going to come back out in the field, try to salvage what's left of this game, end of their season. And it's just a pity to see what has transpired here in this game, considering it was so close at one point. They were scoreless after 1 quarter, even though just 1 play in the second quarter. Carthage drew first blood by starting with a 55-yard touchdown. And since then, they've just been absolutely dominant, especially in the second half. It's a completely different team that we're seeing as they have figured out on both ends of offense and defense, this Henderson team. To make matters worse, a holding penalty against Henderson is going to push them back at least 10 yards here. Or, excuse me, a false start. It's going to push back 5 yards. Each team has 2 timeouts remaining the rest of the way. 4:15 to go. Guerrero up in their game 36-31 after the 4th quarter. Pretty good run there by Lynn Freeney as he's winding down on his high school career. Exact good 9 yards there to make it 2nd down and 1. Excuse me, that was 9 yards. That was actually 16 yards. 14 yards. Been a long night, 28 degrees. Bear with me here. .340 remaining in this game. We're likely seeing a setup next week as Medford gets the first down. Is out of bounds, stop the clock at 3:29 remaining as we're going to see the number 1 team and the number 4 team, the top 2 teams remaining in this bracket, facing off next week against each other in Carthage and La Vega. La Vega currently up 28-18. Let's see if that one's gone final yet, and it has. 28-18. La Vega undefeated Liberty Hill, so they're waiting on the winner of this one between Carthage and Henderson. Right now, it's looking like Carthage. Getting a miracle here. On the reverse, that's not going to help, and the football may have been recovered. And it is by Carthage. So that one just put a damper on what has been this disastrous of a second half for Henderson. I believe that was Raymond Ingram that came away with the football on the fumble. Plenty of great matchups tomorrow night. We'll right here on Texan Live. Go over that with you in just a moment. 3:23 remaining in the game. To the left side across the 30-yard line to the 29. They can really take the clock down now if they choose to. I'm sure they'll do just that. They can take this one down to 2.5 minutes with the play clock difference between the game clocks. But if you sign up for our playoff pass for just $29.95, then you can watch every single game that we've done in this entire game throughout these UIL playoffs, not to mention archive games and upcoming games. So if you have indeed purchased that playoff pass, you can check out all the games we have tomorrow. Just 5 total. We'll go over that in just a moment. And we'll have to do it when we come back from break, because that's timeout. Carthage will take their second timeout of the second half, 2:34 remaining. Take it with them. Be right back here on Texan Live. 2:34 remaining in this one. Second down and 6 to go. The Bulldogs just trying to wrap this one up. Call their second timeout. As they get a new squad in here. New quarterback, new running back. 2:20 remaining. But again, we got 2 games tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock. Cy-Fair and Langham Creek competing in the regional finals of Class 6A Division 2. First set of downs here, getting out of bounds. No idea why he went out of bounds. I think that's what his coach is trying to say to him right now. Stay in bounds and take that clock down, because that stopped the clock with 2:01 remaining. He's really getting a mouthful right now, but that's to be expected. A young group coming in there with an experience, just getting a lesson from their coach right now. That's why you get these guys in games like this, so they can learn. It's just a learning lesson there. Instead of keeping the clock going, it stopped it at the 2:01 remaining. And they lose yardage in the process. Simple handoff for a few yards here, and they take clock down some more. Henderson has 2 timeouts remaining, but they just delay the inevitable here. So they choose not to use them. Fort Bend Marshall on College Station to the other game at 1 o'clock from Waller ISD Stadium. And then 2 games at 2 o'clock. The Katy North Shore game. I'm sure a lot of you are going to want to tune into that one if you have a playoff pass. The 2015 Division 1 and Division 2 6A state champions going head-to-head in the Division 1 level for the second consecutive year. North Shore defeated them last year on the last-second stop, so that should be an interesting fight over in that one. 1:10 remaining here. It'll be 4th down. Second game, Frisco Lone Star taking on Mansfield Legacy, the 12-1 Lone Star team against the 11-2 Legacy team. That's a 2 p.m. start. And then Yoakum Goliad from UT at 6 p.m. Wrap up our schedule here on Texan Live tomorrow night. Join us again. You got this playoff pass, and I know a lot of you can't get enough of high school football, just like the rest of us here. So tune into that one. Forget about college football. This is where it's at, high school. Trust me. The right side of 4th down, that'll be a official loss on downs unfortunately just came up short, especially in the second half. It just wasn't meant to be. But trust you me, these two programs will have plenty of chances to go head-to-head against each other. I'm not sure what the realignment will have next year, but both of them have been in 9-4A for quite some time now, so we'll see if they stick around in District 9-4A. Could do it here. As he takes it to the 30-yard line, they got to go back up to the line here, but I'm not sure they'll even take the snap. There's 15 seconds left on the clock. They can run one last play if they really want, but I think they're looking over at the sideline map now to their coaches, and I don't think they're going to. That'll do it here in this ball game. This clock ticks down to 2 seconds, 1 second. There's your game. Carthage wins this one 35-0. And they will move on to the state semifinals for the second consecutive season. They will move to 14-0 on the season. While Henderson will finish the season 11-3 overall, coming up just shy of a state berth. After winning it all in 2010, they're still trying to find their way back there. They're getting closer and closer each year, but can't quite find it this year. A couple of touchdown tosses by Leonard Capps as he connected with Quavius Bowens a couple of times, and then a couple of touchdowns by Keontae Ingram put up this 35-0 score. So now they will move on. Will Carthage play against play against La Vega next week in the state semifinals. So tune in all week, or at the beginning of the week, I mean, Texan Live to see what games we'll be covering, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity to cover them. But I hope you all have enjoyed our live streaming of this one here on Texan Live. Again, if you'd like to know more about Texan Live, feel free to check out the rest of the website for highlight videos, archive games, upcoming events, and a whole lot more. You can like our Facebook page, Texan Live. Follow us on Twitter at Texan_Live, Instagram and Snapchat, Texan Live, all one word. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Texan Live, as well, and now through your Texan Live subscription on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. That'll do it here from Stephen F. Austin University and Homer Bryce Stadium. We're getting your final score. Carthage wins this one 35-0 over Henderson. Move on to the state semifinals in a perfect 14-0 season. This has been a production of Texan Live at TexanLive.com. For our associate producer, Jesse Wolf, our production engineer back in the studio, Russell Lambert, on behalf of our owner, Bert Proctor, I am Mark M. Johnson, saying so long and good night from Nacogdoches, Texas.
The best high school football teams in Texas collide inside AT&T Stadium, all battling to be crowned champions. Get your tickets now for the UIL State Championships. Be a part of this Texas tradition. Log on to Ticketmaster.com.